Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Schiavone, and our show is Spiritual Exploration. Tonight, we're going to talk about divination, which is divination means that you are able to use tools to read the future. And with me tonight to talk about this is Raphael Simons, and he will tell you all about divination and all about how it's done. So, welcome, Raphael.
Hi, thank you.
So, tell us first of all, give us a definition of divination. What does it entail?
Divining is finding out, basically. So you ask a question, you get your answer, or you get some sort of a guidance towards your answer. There are many tools. I practice astrology, Chinese and Western astrology, and then I do a lot of readings. I can do psychic readings that don't use instruments, and I use instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought a few instruments to explore.
Yes, well, that's wonderful.
Okay.
Yes. So tell us what you have here.
Okay. One that I use all the time, a lot of the time, is a deck that comes from France. It's not available in America, but I really love it. It's called the Belline Oracle in English. It's called the Belline Oracle. If maybe you can see one of the cards. Can you see?
Oh, yeah, we can see
Wait a
it very
minute.
well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Here it is.
Just hold
Here
it
it is.
straight.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
These are originally they were painted by a diviner called Edmund. He lived in Paris around 1830s. He was doing this. He painted this deck, and it was after he died, it was lost, and then it was rediscovered by a man called Belline, who published them and used them, became quite famous in France for them.
Named them after himself.
He named them after himself. It's called the Belline Oracle, and it's quite popular in Europe, but in France especially. But they're almost impossible to find here. So the only way to get them is to order them from France. But I use them, and I find them really sharp. They really tell it like it is.
Really?
And they're a wonderful instrument for exploring. You can find out secrets.
Really?
Yeah, like what's so and so doing? Where are they? You know, this kind of thing. It's a really good instrument. It's like it just brings to mind like I was told that in China the police use decks of cards to do
Find criminals?
Yeah.
Wow.
They do psychic exploration on people.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty big. Well, I mean, over here we do have psychics and mediums who get involved in police work when they're trying to locate a missing person or a body.
Yeah. I do some detective stuff, but
Oh, yeah?
yeah, people will ask. But this is like that. This can really give you the picture. It'll tell you what's cooking.
Wow, that's amazing.
I
that's
love this
interesting.
deck. This
yeah.
is my favorite deck. I mean,
Sure.
I prefer it to the tarot, but here's a tarot deck. I mean, these are gorgeous. Let me see. Can you see this one?
Yeah, hold it that way. Yeah.
This is a wonderful tarot deck.
Is that the Rider deck or something like it?
No, this is like a very classical medieval deck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this is not Rider. I don't know. We can see these. It's like
It's different pictures, but same premise.
The Rider deck does not have. The Rider deck has pictures on all of the cards. This medieval deck doesn't. This has it has minor arcana with no pictures.
Oh, I see. It's just swords or just cups.
Yeah, but
just
this
pentacles.
is yeah, but this is the traditional old deck, which is a wonderful thing to read. It really works very well. So, another one, runes. We can use runes. I have a deck of rune cards. I don't know if they're available anymore. Here's like a rune card. Can you see?
Yeah.
So the runes can tell you a very simple answer. Like, you want to ask a question, I'll give you an answer.
Oh, can't think of a question right now.
Any kind of question.
Any kind of question.
Yeah, any question.
All right. I want to ask a general question that everybody would be interested in, okay? Tell us about any major storms that might be coming up during this hurricane season that we should be worried about.
Yeah. gonna be one. I don't believe that this is gonna show a big storm coming.
We should, so in other words, like
It
we
looks like
had
it's gonna be-
Hurricane Sandy last October.
I know, it looks like it's gonna be a really hot summer.
Hot summer. And
It doesn't really look like, if there are gonna be storms, it won't be,
won't be the caliber of Sandy.
no, but it won't be until at least August where there would be a storm, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look in these cards, all right?
Whatever you like.
All right, let me look in these cards.
Go ahead, yeah.
All right.
Let's see if we can do some weather predicting here.
Because I did a Chinese New Year prediction, and it said that it's going to be big storms this year, but not necessarily here.
Uh-huh.
But there are going to be very big storms.
Well, naturally, we're concerned about what's going to happen here in New York, on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My hunch was that it was more in the Midwest.
Yeah, well, they get a lot of bad weather out there, too.
And it's going to be very, very turbulent in Europe.
Uh-huh.
I could see a big storm coming up and going across to England.
And what effect would it have while it's here?
Make a mess.
Make a mess.
Yeah.
You mean like Sandy?
No, I don't think it's going to be like that this year. But yeah, I mean, we're prone to them more now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was going to say that's, you know, because I mean, I remember growing up and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I mean, we had some bad storms, but never a bad hurricane like Sandy
Yeah.
that did damage to all the damage that was done.
This is saying no, there's not going to be a major storm here.
Uh-huh. Good. Good.
It seems to say, you know, this year is not over here a major storm. It'll be
Okay.
better. It'll be better. But this is showing a lot of heat.
Yeah, I could see this over here, the heat. Yeah. And the
It's
sun.
all heat. Yeah, it's all
A lot
heat.
of sun.
Yeah, it's all heat. But probably, you know, like the later summer is going to be really like,
Brutally hot.
yeah.
Brutally hot, but not, but,
I don't think there's a major storm. There may be some big thunderstorms.
okay. Thunderstorms we can
I could
handle.
see tornadoes happening, especially in southeast.
The southeast, but not in,
Down
not in the
south.
northeast.
Let me check
Because
that.
we did have a tornado here.
I know.
It touched down on Staten Island in September of 2010.
Yeah.
I remember it brought down a big tree in my backyard.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes they get them upstate and in Massachusetts. But they get them in the south.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Midwest. But I think the major tornado season is over.
Well, no, tornado. I don't. Yeah, I was
Big
thinking about
tornado
hurricanes.
season. Hurricanes starting.
Oh yeah, in other words, tornadoes. Because this tornado was, I believe it was September 14, 2010. That it
Okay, yeah.
touched
yeah.
down on Staten Island. Then it went over the bridge and into Brooklyn, and then over to
yeah,
Queens.
I saw that.
And wreaked a bit of havoc in its
Yeah.
path.
We're gonna get some. Yeah, we'll have some windstorms like that. Yeah.
We'll have windstorms.
Yeah, it's like yeah. There could be damage from wind.
Wind. So you mean like 50 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, they could be twisters, you know, sudden gusts. But I don't think this is a major hurricane coming up here. I think it's more like you know, violent weather.
Violent weather, but not hurricane
Short-lived,
level.
you know, like there's a storm, it blows things over, trees fall down.
Well, yeah, I know, because I remember when that hurricane arrived, and I was at home when the wind started kicking up. Not hurricane, I'm sorry, the tornado in September of 2010. And I just come home from food shopping, and the wind started kicking up, brought down this giant tree in my backyard, did a few other things, and then and as fast as it came, it was gone.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, everything just calmed down, and
Yeah.
that was it.
So let's see if we can find out what months. How about that?
All right. What months we should expect foul weather?
Okay, hold on. We'll get it. So we're in June. 4, 6, one more time, and then we'll do it. You have to be patient while we
Don't worry, we're
shuffle
waiting.
cards.
It's okay.
5, 6. Okay, so let's see what's the months. Let's say June, July, and August, and September. June, July, August, and September. June, July, August, and September. And this will tell us something. June, not bad. July, not bad. September.
September what?
In September, there will be violent weather.
There will be violent weather in September.
Yeah.
But not June, July, and August.
Doesn't look it like June, July may have some rough weather. August maybe some, but nothing big. And then September.
So
Later summer.
So we should batten down the hatches for September,
Later summer, something will happen.
but not on the same caliber as
Last year.
as Sandy.
No. Let's see how it compares with last year. All right.
All right.
It seems to say what this card seems to say is that it builds up. So conditions will build up, which means probably the weather will get gradually more unpredictable and potentially violent.
So now, by violent, do you mean where there's a lot of damage
Wind.
to homes and
Wind and
property and all of
Potentially.
that?
yeah, I don't think it's going to be constant though. You know, I mean, it'll be like thunderstorms, a lot of thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms we can handle. I mean, we've had thunderstorms since the year of the flood.
Right.
But you know, it's that hurricane stuff that we're worried about.
My feeling is not going to be a major hurricane this year.
I hope you're right.
I don't feel it.
From your mouth to God's ears.
I don't feel it. Not this year. Okay, so as compared to last year, I think it's different.
What's different?
I get a feeling that this very, very violent storm will happen, but I don't think it's like a long thing that's going on for days.
So we will get a violent storm, but it's not going to be of the same
It's not the same type.
type as Sandy was. I mean, this is what we're worried about. I'm sure that everybody on Staten Island is
Yeah.
concerned about
Yeah.
this because, you know, we have been through Sandy. And, I mean, I don't live anywhere down the beach, and I still had some damage, you know?
Okay, you know what? You take some cards.
Okay.
All right? You're asking, are we going to have a major storm? How about that? Take 5 cards.
5 cards? Okay, and then we'll move on to a
yeah.
different subject.
Sure.
3, 4, 5. There we go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No,
Nothing major.
nothing major, but the weather's not good.
So we will get some storming. We will get some rain and
Yeah.
thunder
I
and all
really
that
think
stuff.
it's going to happen in other parts of the country. I don't think it's going to happen right here.
Right, I see. Okay, very good.
There's stuff going on, believe me. The summer is going to be eventful.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Now, let's talk about the economy, the country's
Oh.
economy.
Yeah.
Is there going to be any improvement? Are more people going to be able to get jobs? Are more people going to be able to,
Yeah.
live their lives the way they'd like to?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You take 5 cards again.
Okay.
This table is not letting us.
Not
spread them.
conducive to spreading cards,
No.
huh?
Okay, 5 cards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. The economy. Will it get better or not get better? In this summer or like this year, it's going to be rough. It appears in the near future to look better, but there's a lot of losses yet coming. So it's volatile and people getting really angry.
Yeah, of course they're getting angry because their lives have been disturbed by this.
It's going to continue.
It's going to continue.
Yeah. This year has some thrills. Let's ask, is it going to get any worse than it is at the moment?
All right, is it going to get any worse?
Yeah. Okay. What's it gonna do?
Do you think that maybe like down the road, if things change in our government, it might get better? Different people take over.
I think that what's behind the government is what's controlling it. So if the government changes its face, it's not going to be any different. I mean, there are some very deep levels of financial organization that the government is not in control of. That rather it controls the government. So will it get better? It will very slowly get better for a few people. Believe it or not, some people are benefiting greatly by this current predicament, and others are just stuck.
Yeah. But most people are feeling the pinch.
No kidding. So it looks like for a while they'll feel the pinch.
So for a while longer, we're going to be feeling the pinch.
I think that probably the economy will start to turn in 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
That's 3 years from now.
Well, 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now there's a real danger in the economy. Let's ask this, because I'm wondering about it. Is there going to be a crash?
Okay, that's a good question.
A stock market crash, because the stock market appears to be inflated.
Yeah.
It's
I haven't really been paying attention to it, but.
And then also the economy of China is inflated.
Yeah. So you think that China might go the way of Greece?
Not that bad, but I think China may have a correction soon.
Correction?
Yeah, like a crash. But China is definitely becoming very powerful. Extremely powerful.
So now the question here is, will the stock market in the United States crash?
Sure. Let me see 5.
Okay, 1, 2. Oh, 2 of them came up, so might as well keep them. There you go.
Got 5?
Yep,
All
there's
right.
5.
Okay. Will it crash? This is suggesting no.
Oh, good.
It's suggesting no. It seems to be being held up.
Okay.
Although within a year there is a blip, but it's not a major crash.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because then a lot of people would suffer with something like that.
Yeah. Well, however, it's connected to the European economy is going to affect it, and the European economy is in terrible condition, and it's going to get worse this year. This and next year, European economy is really in hot water.
Wow.
There's not a doubt.
It's a shame that things have to be that way, but what are you going to do, huh?
Yeah.
So,
What do you want to look at?
So tell us more about the different forms of divination.
Okay.
And then maybe we can go into some more questions.
Sure. I mean, basically, divination is like, you're using an instrument to find out something. If you don't use an instrument, then you're just basically using psychic means, which I do, but that really requires going into a different state of mind and listening for the answers. And sometimes that is very, very sharp and precise, while using an instrument can get you confused.
Yeah, that's true.
So, what I do is use a combination of these. If I'm really working with somebody on something, I'll use both, because sometimes the tools are getting us confused, and other times they're really confirming things, and other times they're really pointing to things that we need to look at. So there's a whole combination of stuff, but I can do a thing of really listening. Also, I can listen. I'm clairvoyant. I can see. So I'll tell a person, this is what I see. This is what's happening.
Tell me something.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk to like Christian ministers and stuff like that, you know that most of the religions look down upon this type of thing, looking at cards and divining and telling the future and all that kind of stuff. What do you have to say about that?
They can think what they like. It doesn't make a bit of difference.
You don't, because a lot of them say, "Oh, that's the work of the devil," and
That's their
their
business.
opinion.
That's
That's
their
it.
business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to enter this conversation with them.
Uh-huh.
If they think that I'm doing the devil's work, I'll
Just let them do
I'll
it.
show them the door. That's all I can tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
not
I
doing the
don't
devil's
believe
work.
that that's the case because,
Yeah. I mean,
you know.
I do stuff to help people find out.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
if what I'm helping them find out is helping them, then that's good for them.
Sure.
But I'm not going to tell
Especially if
people.
they're-
I'm not going to tell people lies. And really.
No, of course
And I'm
not.
not going to tell people things to trick them into the wrong ways.
Right,
And I'm not
right.
advising immoral behaviors.
Right.
So, these are God's gifts.
I believe that.
And
I believe
if
there's
a
something
religion,
to everything.
yeah, well, if a religion wants to get to control everything and tell you that you don't have the right to see anything because they see everything and they know everything, you don't know anything. It's like that's their problem. I don't care.
Yeah, I know
mean,
what you mean.
You know, this is a free country,
That's for sure.
and we can do what we please. I mean, if you're basically a good person, you're going to do good stuff.
It's the truth. I mean, you know, if just because you're reading cards, if you're a good person, it doesn't make you a person that's doing anything wrong.
Another thing is I usually tell people exactly what I see, and I'm not trying to flatter them or to lead them to believe things that they want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell them what I see.
Yes. Well, of course.
I mean, I'll couch it so they don't get it.
If they ask you a question about their future in some way or another,
Right.
love, marriage,
Right.
job,
Right.
money, whatever,
Yeah.
you'll just tell them. You'll tell them the
tell 'em what I
truth.
see.
You tell them what you see.
If it looks like I should warn them about something, I'm going to warn them.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that would be a good idea because then they might be able to change something.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends also timing. Don't act now. Act then.
Right.
Hold back. Don't do it.
Right. Wait for another amount of time till you act on this.
I think in our culture that divining has been looked down upon because of religious opinions, and other cultures this is very natural and very open. In China, for example, it was expected. You could go to a Taoist temple and you could get the diviner to tell you.
Oh, really?
And the emperor always visited the diviners.
It was a normal, everyday
it was part of
life.
It was a required part of the culture.
Really? Wow.
In African cultures, this is always done. This is just part of the old cultures. It's very ancient. So, but we have an authoritarian religious system that condemns it.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed to.
That's right.
And they put a superstition against it that this is devil's work.
Right.
And I really would like them to tell me what is devil.
Right. Define devil.
Define what you mean by the devil. Because normally your definition of the devil may not be mine.
Yeah.
So whatever you think is your business. If you come to me for a reading, I'll do the reading. But if you challenge me because I'm doing the devil's work, I'll show you the door.
Well, somebody who feels that way wouldn't be coming for a reading.
Well, some people will come to challenge you.
Oh, really?
Once in a while. And then you know what they're doing. You very politely
show them the door.
Show the door. I mean, that's it. I think it's a good thing for people if they want it, if they want help.
Yeah, well, it's true because, I mean, I've dabbled in it. I never did it really like professionally or anything like that, but I've dabbled in it and I've read cards for friends and stuff like that. And very often they would go away saying, now I know what I have to do with this situation. I mean, I had one person that didn't know what to do about her house. And now I had no idea what the story was when I sat down with her. And her kids were trying to push her into selling it. And it came up because I saw in the cards that she was having a dispute about property. So she said, well, my kids want me to sell the house. I've been in it for 45 years. I don't want to sell it. I want to stay there. But they want the money. And I said, so the cards actually told her, don't sell because you're going to end up putting yourself in a bad position. By the end of that reading, she was all smiles saying, now I know what I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. She was happy and she was helped and I felt good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it does help people to get a perspective on what is going on in their life through someone who's able to read something and tell them, well, this, and this, and then they were able to figure out what to do about a problem.
Right. I mean, recently I was doing some readings for somebody who was being very deceived by someone else.
Ah.
And didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out a ton of stuff.
Really?
That actually proved to be true.
Wow. I'll bet, yeah.
And it's really like saving this person from huge problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like being a detective, you know? Like you find out stuff.
Yeah, except that you're doing, you know, right in front of you with the cards on the table and just saying.
Well, I get a lot of messages and I report them.
In other words, like messages that come psychically to you?
Yeah, from spirit.
From spirit while you're reading.
Yeah, or even like I'm not using this, but I'm getting this.
Any particular spirit or spirit that's associated with the person that you're reading? You know, like the person's mother might be there.
No, they're spirits that I work with.
I see. And what kind of spirits are they?
Intelligences.
Uh-huh.
They're smart.
And they give you information.
I get information.
Hmm.
If I want them to tell me, I'll just wait and listen, and they'll tell me.
So you just ask them a question, they'll give you the answer.
Yeah, if it's important, I'm not going to just do it for fun.
No, you're not going to say, oh, is it going to rain tomorrow or something?
No, I'm not going to do that. But
no.
You know, if I'm working on something, if I'm working on a case, I'll get everything into it to find out so I can help.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. Have you had a lot of people who have come to conclusions and followed through and were better off because of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I learned long ago that you don't say things to flatter people. You just don't, because they get hurt.
Yeah.
So you say things that you absolutely are certain is the truth.
Well, you know, all right. A flattery would be something like, you look nice today.
No. Like, oh, you know, somebody's in love with somebody else, and you can, you know, and they really want them. And I say, yes, it's going to really happen. It's really, really going to happen, and it didn't. And they'll come back hurt.
Oh.
Why didn't you tell me that? You know, so I really learned that lesson long ago.
So what
don't do these things to flatter them.
Oh, in other words, don't.
If they're in love with somebody that's not giving them what they want, I'll just say, I'm sorry, that does not look like this is good. Or, you know, this is happening, that's happening, this other thing is happening, and this is what you should really be aware of.
And then you could get hurt in this relationship, and you could end up.
Or whatever, you know?
You know.
Sure, I mean, everything has its own details, you know? But I've really learned to tell it like it is.
I guess you have to. You know, in your line of work.
I don't know. People come back and say what you said is 100%. So.
People come back to you.
Yes.
And tell you what you said was 100%.
Yes. I mean, also, like, I'll read for somebody I don't even know who they are. They're just sitting in front of me. I'm putting out the cards and telling them everything that's there. And I mean, very often they just say, well, that's just 100%. I mean, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and because you had no way of knowing about these things prior to meeting with this person, then, you know, there's reason to believe that you're able to tell them.
I think it's about letting it happen.